allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Please share the video. Invite your friends. You know, I can't invite everyone on Facebook now, but you can do that. Let me know if the audio is perfect. We are going to have a very interesting time on this program tonight. So share the video. Invite your friends. Tell them Mayegun is live.
Mayegun àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Tonight, we're going to pick a few things from what the cut and paste recorded interview done with Bokwari, where he made some points. And as usual, we will break those points down tonight. You will begin to pick some signals from what he said and to what to expect. Pay attention. Do not be distracted by other things. Share the video. One of the things you have to pay attention to when you are in a gathering and everyone is watching a magician. When a magician is using his two hands, one is for your distraction, one is for the trick. And the trick is right there before you. But if you pay more attention to the distraction, you will lose the focus on the trick. And that focus is what you will never lose if you are following Mayegun's Diary Politico. You will pay attention to detail. If you are not the type that pay attention to detail, most of the time politically, on Mayegun's Diary Politico, you are likely to become a genius that can see through lies and deception without being deceived or distracted by the personalities involved. That is what makes us different on Mayegun's Diary Political. Pay attention. There's a lot to share. Share the video. Wari said, if the youth want jobs, they will have to behave. He was asked about the unfortunate dwindling foreign direct investment into Nigeria, which has led to job losses. And Nigeria loss has been Ghana's gain. We will talk about that tonight. They asked him about that, and they also asked, they asked him about the state police, Amotekun, Ebubeagu, and then the IPOB. He said all manner of badadash. Pay attention to detail. Do not be distracted by mere distractions. Whether they want to call him Jibril of Sudani or Asalami of anywhere, the legacy of Boko Haram is the legacy of bloodbath. Okay, he's a breeding mannequin. I've told you personally. I personally don't believe that he is dead physically. I believe that he is dead as what do you call it? Somebody who is not there anymore, pretty much like a ghost. To me, a demented, weak, sick old man that couldn't really think straight, can't answer questions straight. And we all know, as pretty much as we have a detail of his, medical record that are pretty much out there, by the way, except for those who are denying that. I've told you, to us, Boko Haram is dead. And when we say he's dead, a ghost ruling a country is far better than that figurehead there. So do not pay attention to distraction. Pay attention to detail, because from it comes all the consequences of everything you are seeing around today. Do not pay attention to distraction. It's very important. Share the video. I'm rolling some things up here. Thank you very much. Now, good evening to you. Good morning. Good afternoon to you. Top of the moment to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live. Yesterday, the team or crew of Arise News visited the villa on an arranged visit to help them shore up Boko Haram's image, which was never there anyway. However, there are a few things that happened. I want us to start taking them bit by bit so that I can then begin to, you know what I mean? I'll begin to break them down one by one and pick out what message is actually in there. You see, people have observed. They said whenever Boko Haram when you ask Boko Haram or anyone working for Boko Haram about the bandits, about the terrorists, right? His reaction, or those they call themselves the presidency, their reactions or their responses are always kind of imbalanced, and it is intentional to make it sound like, you know what I mean? But whenever Boko Haram and those who are working for him, whenever you ask them questions about, the IPOB, or you ask them questions about the Yorubas who are agitating for self-determination, they are very, very clear with what they say. Their messages are never, ever in any, it's never in any way double-headed or something like that. They go straight to it. They call the IPOB terrorists for asking for Biafra. They call us in Yoruba land agitating for Oduduwa Republic. They call us the secessionists, warmonger, people who wanted to bring war. But when they are discussing the bandits, discussing the terrorists. There, you will see them where the president is doing everything to make sure that there is security all over the place. They will give you answers that are never related to the question you ask. It is intentional. Some people are already paying attention to that. Same things happen in this video. Let's get started first. When they ask Bukwari about the young people, especially the Buwaridins, the Buwaridinaries, those who have become the victim of a failed country, just like those who never voted for him have become victims of a failed country as well. They asked him about foreign direct. Well, let's start with the youth. And he said, if you want job, all of you, you have to behave yourself. I don't know, maybe because you don't behave yourself, maybe because of the youth in Nigeria don't behave themselves. That is why they don't have job. When they asked him this, was his answer. I think you should watch.
Even though your administration has given the right signal with regards to ease of doing business, Nigeria has barely improved, and we're losing foreign direct investment to our neighbors such as Ghana. What can you do to make Nigeria?
Why? Because nobody is going to invest in an insecure environment. So I told them, I said they should tell the youth that if they want jobs, they will behave themselves, make sure Nigeria is secure so that people can come and invest. Nigeria is resourceful, people know it. We are a rich country. God has endowed us. But nobody can bring, look at the 200 buses bought by the former governor of Lagos. Some of these boys went and banned the vehicle. The governor made an album, came and I took the album and put it aside. I said, go and tell them to walk. Who will go and invest his money in an unstable environment? Nobody will. It's just common sense. So you behave yourself, you make Nigeria secure.
So if you behave yourself and if you make Nigeria secure, as if to say that is not the president of Nigeria. Do you see why so many people don't believe that that's your president? That's not Bukwari. Some people say it's not Bukwari. But a demented Bukwari, like I said, pay attention, please, to the question asked and the answer given. If that was not clear enough to you, right? Watch this. Please pay attention. And for those of you who are actually medical, you know, who have a medical background, you know what dementia is, right? And you can tell a trait of it, Abi. This 2 minutes video, I want you to pay attention to that. We have a long night. If you have the time, just relax, and continue watching. Now, pay attention to this.
Even though your administration has given the right signal with regards to ease of doing business, Nigeria has barely improved, and we're losing foreign direct investment to our neighbors such as Ghana. What can you do to make Nigeria a more competitive and more attractive destination for foreign direct investment?
Well, this question was answered when there was this answers. You remember the young people who wanted to march here and remove me when they were checked that answers. And my answer to that, I got the members of the Executive Council. As you could recall, by the Constitution, there must be a member of Executive Council from each state. That is the Constitution. Every state must be represented. So I got them on a Wednesday, a day like this. I said they should go, each one should go to his state, speak to the governor, speak to the traditional leaders, speak to the business people, and speak to the youth, especially, and tell them that the federal government, no more vacancy, it's full. Go to any state governor and ask him now to give you a contract or to give you a job. He will tell you there is no vacancy. The same thing with local government. So you may have a good degree, but you may die without having a job. Why? Because nobody is going to invest in an insecure environment. So I told them, I said they should tell the youth that if they want jobs, they will behave themselves, make sure Nigeria is secure so that people can come and invest. Nigeria is resourceful. People know it. We are a rich country. God has endowed us. But nobody can bring, look at the like 200 buses bought by the former governor of Lagos. Some of these boys went and banned the vehicle. The governor made an album, came and I took the album and put it aside. I said, go and tell them to walk. Who will go and invest his money in an unstable environment? Nobody will. It's just common sense. So you behave yourself, you make Nigeria secure, and people will invest.
Now, let's take that again, okay? They asked him about foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment is when you take your money from America, or you take your money from Europe, or you mobilize, you move your money, and you go to Nigeria with that your forex, and you look into any part of the economy, either tech, anything. You go in there and you invest that money. You create job. That is what they call foreign direct investment. Now, he used Lagos and he used NSAS and he blamed the youth for why foreign direct investment is no longer coming to Nigeria. And that is why there is no employment. He said, look at what happened in NSAS. NSAS happened just last year, October 2020. And NSAS protest was as peaceful as all of you can remember, right? However, in Lagos State, the Lagos State government used the BRT bus of Lagos State to mobilize thugs to Alausa. The same Lagos State government called the military to kill the protesters at Lekki Toll Gate, do all the cover-up. But guess what? The Bukwari is now saying, because of NSAS, and he said they wanted to come and remove him. That was what they told him. So all of that paparazzi, all of that meeting, especially fake Pastor Ruga, telling you that they are doing national panel on SARS around that time, it was all fraud. And I told you, it was all fraud to buy time. Today, Bukwari actually believed that your intention is to come and remove him in Abuja. So, and he said it, he now blames NSAS for the reason why foreign direct investment is not coming to Nigeria. Meanwhile, in Daura, where this may God come from, Daura in Katsina State, let's even take Katsina State first. Under this lifeless breeding mannequin, they have kidnapped school children 4 times. Kankara happened. Kagara happened. And in fact, even in his own town, in Daura, it has become a partly ghost town because it is either the people are living in IDP camp in Niger Republic, which is the country of Bukwari's cousins, nephews. He said it in that interview too, but we'll get to that. The terrorism in northern Nigeria has escalated to the point that we now know a Sheikh Gumi. We now know the faces of those who are killing people in northern Nigeria. And who will go to northern Nigeria now to bring the money in? But guess what? Let's blame the South. If you say there is no foreign direct investment, it's because some youth need to behave themselves. If not, then there will be nothing. There's nothing I can do about that. That's what it's simply meant there, right? But again, I told you, pay attention. There is something he was asked. There's something else he answered. A very, very good, good signal of a developing dementia. But we'll get to that. Let's go to another one. Part of his interview. This time around, it is about state police. I think you should watch this.
Like the civilian JTF, Amotekun, and what have you. Has the time come to now formalize state police in Nigeria?
I have seen, or I have been reading it in the newspapers. Those of us who are old enough to know the old NA police and so on. That time, the traditional institutions leaders were very effective. In each community, you know, I will give you one example of recent. 2 governors from the Southwest came to tell me that the cattle rearers in some of the forests there have killed farmers while their cattle were eating on their crops. So I told them, you campaigned to be elected, and you are elected. He said, yes. I said, go back and sort out yourselves. Because there has been a system, as all of us here could recall, even your local government, when there are security at each level, at local government and state. It consists the traditional leaders in that area who have been there for generations. So they know all the crooks.
He is the president of Nigeria. They asked him about the effort of people, the same governors he's talking about, who put together a local security outfit for their states to prevent all these Fulani terrorists invading them. Guess what? The same presidency. He said they came to tell him. He has no idea, Abi. You think he doesn't have an idea of those who are killing people in the southwest Nigeria? He does. Or because, you see, he knows about Amotekun. He knows about everybody. He knows about everything going on. And all the coming killings, and especially the one going on now. He knows about everything. That's why I said, you are denying yourself greatly if you continue to believe that, well, it's not Buhari. Fine. Take your belief. Stick to it. Don't make it a competition, because you know what? It is a distraction. Okay? He knows about everything they are doing. All the killings. Everything. Every day, the Biafrans, they are living rent-free in his head. And that is why everyone around him are paranoid about the Biafrans. So if you think that is not him, great. I hope you are not completely taken away or distracted by just merely that. Because you know what? They are doing it in his name. And if you continue to say it's not him, great, enjoy it. The governor set up security outfits, especially Amotekun. And they are not allowed to carry guns. Amotekun was set up to curb the invasion of Fulani terrorists into Yoruba land. Their job was to stay in the forest, protect the forest, protect the farms, protect the people who are there growing our food, our farmers. But immediately they started, memo started coming from the presidency. The memo was that Amotekun must be under the police. Police IG must give approval. And they must never carry gun. And anybody Amotekun arrest as a Fulani terrorist must be handed over to the police. The police will then release them back again. So it's just going to be like a catch-22. You get what I mean now? The same Boko Haram who did that is now giving an interview that there is a local, there is more. Watch another one. If you haven't been shocked, you will get shocked soon. Well, some of us know the shock again anyway, but watch this.
Has barely improved, and we're losing foreign direct investment to our neighbor.
Gazette of First Republic, when people were obeying laws, there's cattle routes and grazing area. Cattle routes where when they are moving up country, north to south or east to west, they have to go through there. If you allow your cattle to stray into any farmer's farm, you are arrested. The farmer is invited to submit his claims. The alkali or the judge will say, oh, I pay. If you can't, the cattle is sold. And if there is any balance, you are given. And people are behaving themselves. And in the grazing areas, they built earth dams, put windmills, in some places even veterinary departments. so that the herders are limited. Their route is known, their grazing area is known. If they have any problem from the locality is known. But I'm telling you, this rushing to the center, you know, people just, I think. So I asked for the gazettes, you know, to make sure that those who encroached on these cattle routes and grazing areas will be dispossessed, you know, and try to bring some order back into the cattle areas. The problem is trying to understand the culture.
Did you pay attention to that? That's the continuation of why you need local security. It was trying to explain that there was there is a gazette, a federal government gazette that created grazing routes. Grazing routes cut across everywhere for Fulanis to graze their cows. Now, according to Bokwari, he is going to call on Malamu to repossess those land. All of you who don't even know that, you see that your land, that your forefather land, now grazing routes in 1970 or 1962. You didn't know. So they will have to open the place. It was the same Bokwari who came and they made this law, this bill. They call it Water Resources Bill. To some of you who didn't remember this, I'm glad that he is talking about grazing routes. You know why the Fulanis continue to kill? You know why they will never be arrested? According to Bokwari, all of you are just ganging up against the old tradition. The old tradition was to let Fulani do what they want. But all of you are just paranoid now. But he's going to bring that gazette out. And that will bring peace. Because by now, Malamu will come out. It will tell you where the grazing route from Kogi to Enugu to Ebonyi to this and that. They will tell you everywhere how grazing routes come to Ondo, Ekiti, everywhere. All those places, Water Resources Bill. You know what was in that bill? That bill gave the right to the federal government, controlled by the Fulani Caliphate. The federal government of Nigeria gave them the control over all the waterways, all the water in Nigeria. And you know, say there is no water in northern Nigeria enough to take care of their cows, according to them. And they have not been investing enough money in irrigation system that could have sustained them enough and grow vegetarian area for them. But no, they want to seize everything. So in that water bill, Water Resources Bill of Bokwari, all your waterway, all the river, everywhere in your waterway, shall cross everywhere, including the ocean, belong to the federal government. And 6 kilometers of land, or 6 miles of land, rather, from that water. So let's say, now here, Bar Beach Day for Lagos. Then you will now travel 6 miles. That's going to be like about 10 kilometers. How long do you think 10 kilometers of road will be? Now, that land from the sea and 10 kilometers down belong to the federal government of Nigeria. And some of our people are there. They are clapping. They are doing, so those who support say hi. So those who are against say no. Nobody say no. The eyes have it. And all of you have no idea. So they have been doing all of that as you are fighting cattle colony, as they are fighting for the grazing area, as they are fighting for Ruga, they are also putting bill together to abrogate your land by fiat in the democracy. So Bokwari is now asking them, can you find that gazette for me? They found it, they've seen it already. They are talking about the Land Use Act. And guess what? The person that brought about Land Use Act is no other person than Baba Olusegun Obasanjo. Obasanjo started Land Use Act. Land Use Act then make all the land in Nigeria the government's land. You see, all the land, all your state, everything, all your everything belong to the federal government of Nigeria. So it is the federal government that now says, okay, you state, you can control here. You, this, you can say you control here. But when we need to use anywhere, we will use the overall power of federal government to get what we want. That's how Nigeria works, for some of you who don't understand. The person who brought that together was Obasanjo. When they asked Obasanjo about Nigeria breaking up, guess what he said? He's against it. You know why? Land Use Act gave Obasanjo a very massive portion of Nigeria land, all over Nigeria. Your land in Igbo land, your land in, what do you call it? In every part of Nigeria, Obasanjo gets his own share. And just same way like all of them, same way Buhari, will never have anything to do with the people of Port Harcourt. But guess what? He has landed properties in Port Harcourt. Now, so they share all the land because they are the federal military government. By decree, all the land belongs to the government. And nobody has been able to change it. Nobody dare try to change it. They have just been trying to get some leverage and say, can we do that with that land? Can we not do that with that land? They ask Obasanjo, what do you think about those who are now asking for the breakup of Nigeria? You know what he said? This
will be apprehensive, if not frustrated. Apprehensive about security situation, apprehensive about our economic situation, apprehensive about our political situation. The drum that we are hearing, the beating of the drum, is a drum of disintegration. And I like what the orator read about my citation. I am a strong believer in one Nigeria. But let me say this. It's not one Nigeria at any cost. It must be one Nigeria where every Nigerian can feel proud that he has a state. Because no Nigerian is born a slave in this country. No Nigerian is born to be oppressed in this country. And those of us who have shed part of our blood and sweated for this country, we did it because we want a country that every Nigerian can claim to be his or her own. And part of the reason why I'm going to Abuja is because of that. And I believe that if we all work together, if we speak to ourselves and talk among ourselves the way we should talk among ourselves, rather than talking to ourselves, we talk with ourselves. If we change the narrative, this is a great country that God has given to us. And that we are not getting it, we are not making Nigeria what God has created it to be. It's not the fault of God. It's the fault of ourselves, particularly our leaders. One thing that gives us strength in this country is our diversity. And it doesn't matter what anybody may say. If all that we have is Republic of Oduduwa, for those who, and their situation and their position will be understandable. If that is all we have, members of that country will be diminished compared with being a citizen of Nigeria. Citizens of Oduduwa Republic will be diminished compared with citizens of Nigeria.
You hear that? Unity beggar. I don't even know that he's that old now. Look at him. He's a very old man. And those are the people who were in the 70s. Probably thought they have the greatest idea of building a country. A country that Obasanjo at 85 or 90 now. He's still talking about a great country, and he's talking about a diminished Oduduwa Republic. The United Kingdom that colonized Nigeria, their total population is not more than 70 million. The population of Yorubas, home and abroad, are more than 70 million, for what Obasanjo should know. But a big for nothing country, a crippled giant, the one that pays their bills, the likes of Obasanjo, they never really worked in their lives. Do you know that? For everything they have, or whatever they pretended to have make up themselves, was stolen from Nigeria. Nigeria gave them everything, including Bokwari. They never really did any real job in their lives. And that is why the most they can give us is to continue to tell us that, he said something. He said, some people might say this, some people might say that, but it doesn't matter what people say. Because according to them, facts don't matter. Emotion should be it. A big country. Why are you not happy to be part of a big country? 200 million. Can you believe this? Let me break your heart. For some of you who have no idea what is coming, okay? Nigeria will become a pariah state in the next couple of months, okay? You see all those so some of you who believe that football is what unites you, as much as everybody mad rich, when Nigeria won't play football, everybody will just be one. Have you noticed that is also changing? There was a time that you believe that when you have Nigerian sport personalities, or when you have some music stars who identify with Nigeria, then you then begin to live in that false world. Yeah, we are a big country. Let me break your heart. Very soon, most of those international competitions that all your sport competitors are going into, they will no longer be they will not be invited anymore. Nigeria will become ostracized enough that many of you will realize that it is actually over. With a Bokwari, a well-orchestrated plan, the genocide they are planning, and every other thing they are already carrying out as we speak today, they will always want to appeal to your emotion. I'm going to take a minute break. A minute break at this point where I want you to also take a moment, leave the chat room. We have about 2,000 of us now, at least. If half of us can give a minute, so give a thumb up under this video before we continue. Yes, we will continue after this, okay? I will be right back. If you can do that, I will continue after this, okay? Leave the chat room, give that thumb up, and then we will continue, because it seems that you always practice that, social distancing with this page. Engage with it, and let's make it pretty much entertaining, okay? I will be back.
Clear to you now how they roll. Is it very clear? Listen to the minister. Minister of Defense, Fulani. Minister of Finance, Fulani. Somebody that studied Sharia law is the head of the judicial system. Fulani. Is it very clear to you now how they roll? This is Ecological Republic. Federal Capital Territory, Fulani. Agriculture, Fulani. Police Affairs, Fulani. Aviation, Fulani. Communication of Fulani, power, Fulani, water resources, Fulani, everything is Fulani. All the 19 northern governors are Fulani except the Benue, Plateau, Taraba, and Kogi. Every northern, apart from 4, the rest are all Fulani. Is it very clear to you now how they do? This is Ecological Republic. Because Fulani have a game plan. From the word go, their game plan is to dominate and subjugate you. Dominate and subjugate. Where is their president from? Fulani. Chief of Staff, Fulani. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Fulani. Senate President of Nigeria is Kanuri, of course, is Fulani. Deputy Speaker is Fulani. The Army Chief of Staff is Fulani. Navy Chief is Fulani. Police IG, Fulani. DSS is Fulani. National Intelligence Agency, Fulani. National Security Advisor is Kanuri, of course, is Fulani. Minister of Defense, Fulani. Minister of Finance,
Thank you very much to every one of you who actually took their time to leave the chat room and give the thumb up under the video. I understand that many people are actually watching on their TV, so they won't be able to. But again, as you're watching on your TV, right, to show love, just grab your phone, okay? Go on that same Mayegun's Diary Political, tap the video, and just give that thumb up underneath the video and drop the phone and continue watching on your TV, okay? You can do that. I mean, most of the time, that's the reason why many don't really give that thumb up. Give it, it's called engagement, okay? Thank you. Let's go back to Bokwari. I told you to be paying attention bit by bit. There's somewhere I'm going with that, okay? So, he blamed the governor. Then he said they were going to bring back the cattle route, or what's it called, grazing route. There is more to come. He said something about a Benue State governor. He said the Benue State governor said he won't give land. He won't give grazing route. Then he's now blaming him when the Fulanis are killing his people, that the people should hold him. But the same Bokwari who will not let Amotekun carry gun, the same Bokwari who will send the Nigerian military, repentant terrorists in the military, give them guns, and send them down to commit genocide in eastern Nigeria in the name of looking for the ESN in eastern Nigeria. The same Bokwari is now saying, why don't you use traditional means to protect yourselves? Where terrorists are wielding AK-47. Some of you are still saying it's not Buhari. No, Wala, you don't need to fight yourselves. Pay attention. If it's not Bokwari, this person is doing exactly what Bokwari would do. If that Bokwari you want to see is the one talking, okay? He is doing exactly what he wants to do.
Of the cattle rearers, there is a cultural distance between the chiefs and the Fulanis. So the governor of Benue said, I'm not disciplining the cattle rearers because I'm one of them. I cannot refuse to say I'm not one of them, but he's been very unfair to me. And I told him that the Nigerian cattle rearer was not carrying anything more than a stick, sometimes with a machete to cut some trees and give it to anymore. But those sophisticated ones, they are good with AK-47. So from all the Sahel areas, people rush to Nigeria, you know, and Fulani from Mauritania or from Central Africa look the same. So they think they are Nigerian ones. And I assure you that we are trying to resuscitate these cattle routes, grazing areas, and make them accountable. And then this cancelling of taxes. Ordinary people like it. But the problem of accountability, you know, when taxes are being paid, people are behaving themselves. But now without taxation, people are doing what they like.
Yes, that brings us to the question of power devolution. All these taxation things, these were things that were working in the first problem, but they are no longer working.
Did you hear how he mixed cattle grazing, cattle rearing, Fulani from Mauritania, and all of that? This is how he mixed that to, the problem is that they don't pay taxes. Fulanis don't pay taxes. They don't have address, no identity. Now you know that Fulanis from Mauritania, Fulani from Sahel, they are those they invited to come and kill you in Nigeria. Now you know, okay? Now, if you don't have a clue what it feels like, I caught a video this morning of our people in Yoruba land. You have heard about Iraye in Ishagam. You have heard about Igongon in Oyo in Barapa, Abi. This one happened between Ijebu-Ode and Ibadan, Old Road. If you are from Ibadan, or you have lived either in Ijebu or you've lived in Ibadan, right? Or you've traveled between Ijebu and Ibadan. From Ijebu-Ode, that's old Ibadan road, going to Agoiwoye, then going to Ibadan. This happened to some travelers. You have read it in the news, though, that they kidnapped, Fulani terrorists kidnapped 5 people in Ibadan today. But it's not in Ibadan. It is between Ibadan and Ijebu. And guess what? When they kidnap 5 people, they discovered that one of them is blind. So they left him, an old man. They left him because he's blind and it's going to slow them down. They took 4 away. For those of you who have read the news in the papers or online, the people who survived that attack this morning, watch.
So Eric clearly bá Fulani ni. Àwọn gbogbo àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn wọ́n ti wọnú fún yẹn lọ sí báyìí. Àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn wọ́n fi ṣé uniform tí wọ́n wọ̀ ó nǹkan kan náà ni wọ́n wọ aṣọ tó jẹ́ pé bóyá bí aṣọ. Wọ́n ò wọ aṣọ kankan wọ́n kàn dí àwọn akẹ̀tẹ̀ wọn àwọn wọ́n lu àwọn ọ̀kan bọ̀ bíi méjì nínú wọn kò dé àwọn òde kan sójú. Ṣé bí wọ́n ṣe jáde sí wa lọ́ọ̀kan ẹyọ kan la kọ́kọ́ gbọ́ nínú igbó wọ́n jáde sí wa wọ́n tó bíi 8 wọ́n shoot from far so mọ́tò mi fi lọ mo kàn slow so ọwọ́ tí wọ́n ń bọ̀ lónìí mi mo reverse mọ́tò kan ti gẹ́yìn gbá tí mo máa gbá mọ́tò yẹn báyìí àwọn kan ti jáde látẹ̀gbẹ̀ àwọn kan ti jáde báyìí. sọmi pé mọ́tò tí àti mọ́tò kan ló ń bọ̀ ní táìmù yẹn. mọ́tò kejì yẹn àwọn ni wọ́n tó gbogbo àwọn tó wà ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ pọ́ọ̀tù ó wà station bàbá arúgbó kan ni wọ́n ṣẹ́kù. bàbá yẹn ò lójú bàbá yẹn ó wò ó lílọ dáadáa ó ní kánókù wọ́n pa mẹ́rin tó kù lọ. àwọn ọlọ́pàá tó lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ti kó Fúlàní méjì. wọ́n wà ní ìjà ìrọ̀ police station sí police report wà lọ́gbà.
wọ́n rí méjì mú nù wọn.
àwọn tí wọ́n mú ní premises yẹn wọ́n wà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n suspect ni wọ́n pè wọ́n wà níjà rẹ̀. Someone ní premises ibi tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n máa lọ máa sọ pé wọ́n máa lọ máa béèlì wọn àwọn olórí burúkú kan ti wá fún béèlì wọn. So láàárọ̀ náà ló ṣẹlẹ̀. Láàárọ̀ yìí. Jésù ló lù wá. Ṣé wọ́n ti bá yín yọ táǹbẹ̀? Wọ́n ti bá yín. Wọ́n ti yọ
ẹ béèrè details.
No, wọ́n ti yọ locally adẹ̀ ti lọ sọ spirit. So wọ́n wá ní ká lọ gba report ní ìdí àyìn rẹ̀ because a ti lọ sórí ìta ìdí àyìn rẹ̀ a ti report sí. So bọ̀tá ti pa àwọn tó ṣe locally ẹ̀ pé ṣé wọ́n lè stitch ẹ̀ because wọ́n ṣe ìdí. Ẹ mọ̀ bóyá ọ̀tá sì wà ń bẹ̀. No, wọ́n ti yọ ọ̀tá rẹ̀. Mélòó ló wà ń tán yọ? Ọlọ́run ló yọ yín o. Gbogbo mọ́tò yẹn báyìí ni wọ́n ìbọn ti bàjẹ́.
That happened in Ibadan. Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. I'll do my best to do what Yoruba call the Ayan Ogbufo. I will just interpret in a way, all right, or summarize. They were traveling from Ibadan to Ijebu, and on their way, they got ambushed by the Fulani terrorists who shot at them. He said when they shot at him, he was in the front, so he started reversing. Then there's already another car behind him that he had run into. And before he could come out of his car, there are others who are coming from the left of the, from the bush, right? Somehow he managed to escape with a gunshot wound, right? While those other travelers who are now seeing what was happening, they began to, reverse and go back. However, the unlucky ones are the 4 people kidnapped. They wanted to kidnap 5. So they took 4 because the 5th person is an old man who is blind. So they don't want to take him. Then what happened after was that when the Amotekun came, right, they caught 2 Fulanis at the scene of the attack, but they couldn't find those who took people and those they took. So the police now took they arrested those 2 Fulanis they found at the scene of the attack, right, and they took them to the police station. Some people are already making effort to get them released. So that's why he was saying in there. He said we should all know that it is coming home. Very, very close to home. Okigwe Road. Okigwe in Imo State. To my brothers and sisters who understand Igbo very well, I need your help. Let me start some interpretation inside this comment, please. Okay? Because same thing that happened there happened to these Biafrans too, just today.
I can never name that's the also, I can see everybody on also. So the Sienna just arrived now. Let's see what happened and know what happened. God, look at this woman. Look at the Sienna here. Look at the Sienna here and the men of Kutua. Who's your body in this country? Look at these ladies. I don't know if they were raped or not. Oh God. Yeah, on those Okigwe now, going to Okigwe like this.
Go.
Calm down there. Calm down. If you watch, everybody is packing, and that's Nanda Buribu. I have Madato from this bus. I have passengers from this particular vehicle. Then the other Sienna. Okay, the other Sienna happens to quoi? How would the whole passenger buy man? Even driver. God. But how happened the motor there? Jesus Christ. This is happening this morning. Today is Thursday, 10th of June. Not only Fulani, most of these Fulani Bina Okigwe here. So, my brother, there is problem. You know, the worst part of it now is that we don't have anywhere to call. We don't know who to call to come and help. You see, Nigeria is finished. There is nobody to call to come and rescue this situation right now. Behind on now,
Thank you to all of you who interpreted that in part for us. I finally understood what they are talking about, and I know many people they understand as well. So the women were attacked. They were travelers on Okigwe. What do you call it? They dropped one. Among those women they left, one of them is pregnant. They left her because she's pregnant. Then they selected those they suspected to be rich among those travelers, and they took them. From report, they took 15 people. You see, when you know, the way to know the Fulani terrorists is this. When people tell you that, how are you sure? How are you sure that they are Fulanis? How are you sure that they are this and that? They are trying to blackmail you. The way to know is this. Whenever you are kidnapped by Fulani terrorists, they march you into the forest. They don't take anything. They don't take your car. They don't take money. They don't take anything. They just march. Your bag, everything will be left at the scene of where they take you. If they're going to kill anybody, they're going. And when they attack, when they say, who are those who attacked that village? Well, how are you, how are you sure that they are attacked by the Fulani terrorists? It's not hard. When Fulani terrorists attack a village, right, their mode of operation is that they do it at night. They don't fight in the afternoon. They come at night when everybody is sleeping. Then they will start burning properties. So when everybody is running out of their houses in the middle of that night, they will start killing them, butchering them. You know, you don't know what's going on in the middle of the night. And when they finish, when they realize that many people are awake, then they will run away. So when they run away, the following day, when all of you begin to group yourself that you want to go and fight, the military will arrive. The military will stop you. Or if you don't want to stop, they will start arresting you. That's what happened in Egongon. I told you that's the mode of operation. It's not hard. Don't let anybody tell you that or question you that, how are you sure? Don't just say this. When Fulani terrorists attack, when they want to kidnap you, they don't take anything from you. They just need you. Because only you can fetch them millions that their cows will never fetch them. Are you following me? That's why nobody should deceive you. Nobody should tell you about this fake one Nigeria. God brought us together. They are blackmailing keyword. They use those keywords to blackmail you emotionally. That's what Nigeria does to you. And that's what gives them power. And when Bokwari was in Lagos today, he took a jibe at Tifnumbu. Some people said I should talk about it. Don't worry now. Everything bit by bit. You know, the problem of Nigeria that pushed everybody to say they are tired, they don't want to be part of it anymore, is simply because Boko Haram intentionally shield the criminals that he called his nephews from Niger Republic, from Mauritania, and so on and so forth. He's publicly confessed it to you. And I told you something about the magicians. When magicians are doing trick, don't be deceived. One of his hands is to distract you. And that is the one that is so busy. That is why I said, when they move soldiers to the eastern Nigeria to start hunting the IPOB member, in the name of looking for IPOB member, they are committing genocide. They are killing people. Fulani terrorists are still kidnapping people. As they are kidnapping people in Biafra land, they are kidnapping people in Oduduwa land. As people in Biafra land are paying ransom, people in Oduduwa land are paying ransom. This is not a competition, bro. This is a real life event. And rather than allow them, the governors, to protect their people, they stopped them. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra, Igbo people, decided that they will protect themselves. Then that became an offense. I mean, that became a crime that some of you who possibly don't know, maybe you remember this. If the current Boko Haram, this one, watch again. If this one is not real, if this one is not real, Abi, and I told you that do not be distracted by that. Whatever you want to believe, believe it. You see, this one is Boko Haram.
Of the cattle rearers, there is a cultural distance between the chiefs and the Fulanis. So the governor of Benue said, I'm not disciplining the cattle rearers because I'm one of them. I cannot refuse to say I'm not one of them, but
he cannot refuse to say he's one of them. That's one. Now, I want you to listen to this again. And tell me the animosity, the rent-free that the Biafrans are already living in the head of that Boko Haram. Maybe these two will give you an idea to let you know that, you see that Boko Haram there, the demented one, everyone around him, they are doing exactly what he's been longing to do to the Biafrans, and it's just a distraction. The war is on the entire country. There's more.
What they show, but it appears as though security forces were shooting at unarmed protesters in the southeastern state of Abia. This is footage I can't personally verify, but it looks as though the security forces have gone in very heavy-handedly shooting, and there were reported to be 7 deaths. I'm wondering, how are you planning to deal with this issue of Biafra? You, of course, have first-hand experience.
Put a 30-month civil war, at least 2 million Nigerians were killed. And for somebody to wake up, maybe he wasn't born when there was just fighting in Biafra and said he was Biafra again. We have multi-party democratic system now. Let them organize themselves and vote for to have a state within a state. But to try and interfere with movement of troops, with economy, looking for Biafra, after losing 2 million people, I think they are joking with Nigeria's security, and Nigeria will not tolerate it.
Why don't you invite them for talks?
Why should we invite them?
For the most part, they appear to be young people, as you say, with no recollection
they didn't know what
of
what
the war,
happened.
the 1967-70 war. But these are disaffected young men for the most part, but young women as well, who are protesting, it would appear, against their reduced economic opportunities. Government allocations to state governments in that region have been reduced by something like 50%. These people want
How much
jobs.
was oil costing? For the last 16 years, it was costing from over $140 per barrel, now to sometimes under 30. So the system of allocation has to correspondingly be reduced. So why shouldn't it affect them if it's affecting the whole of Nigeria? From where do we get the money to give them?
Okay, Mr. President, I think that time is up, and I need to thank you very much indeed for taking the time to...
So Biafrans have always been living rent-free in his head. Okay? According to him, one of the reasons why, in fact, the reason why they banned Twitter is because Twitter has become this is ridiculous, by the way. Okay, one of the reasons why they banned Twitter is because Twitter is owned by Nnamdi Kanu. That Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB members, they can do anything they want on Twitter, and nobody can delete their message. Nobody can do this to them. And you remember, just about a month or 2 months ago, when the UK government said Biafrans are going to be given a special visa if they choose to be running away from Bukwari. 2 months ago, thereabout. 2 months after. Well, maybe a few days after. Because today makes it 50 days. For 49 days, Bukwari has killed over 600 Igbo youths. In that Imo state alone, many people have gone missing. UK government said, if you are being persecuted, come and collect visa. Like they knew Bukwari was up to something. Okay? So, 2 months after that, more than 600 people killed by these terrorists. And they continue to threaten simply because Nnamdi Kanu gets Twitter. Like, they actually said that. Like, it's so ridiculous, right? They actually said that. They said social media is being used by the IPOB members. IPOB, they are the owners of, hang on, my battery is about, okay. Said IPOB members are the owners of Twitter. So therefore, they will ban Twitter. Now, they are taking all the government handles. They are taking them to coup. There's something called coup, coup, in their Twitter. Have you heard about that? If you want to read about your government information or lies or anything now, just go to coup, India. Coup, something like that. So they are shutting down Twitter because of Biafrans. Then he also said something in his interview, by the way. He said the South, that's what he said. He said South leaders, they have promised him that they will make sure that the Biafrans, they don't have access to water, to any water or anywhere. Don't say it's a lie. Don't say it's a lie. Oh. The people that they have the oil, but they have no say. But if you give them 13% derivation, which they will still steal with, among themselves, they will do anything. Oh. Don't say no. This is about a deal. It's about a give and take now. How many people are ready to collabo with the Fulanis to kill the Biafrans? Don't be surprised, though, that some of them are willing and ready. And true, they've told him that don't worry, Mr. President. They think they can come to and assess our this and that. So, like they already redesigned Nigeria map, okay? So, Bukwari is relying on that. It will be disappointed. Let me say that to you again. It will be, not just him, including those they are plotting with, because it seems that they've concluded nobody can stop them anymore. According to them, nobody can stop them. Great. We want them to go ahead and execute the plan of attacking Biafra and make it, because we have received the report now that the Yorubas are going to participate in June 12 protest. There's nothing like June 12 celebration, okay? It's going to be a June 12 protest. No paparazzi, no nothing. And from that day on, it kick-started. Let's see where that goes from then on. Are you with me? So, I picked up something I want to share with you. In reaction to the Twitter ban, somebody says something that I think, you don't want to miss it. Is somebody from the area that you would never expect somebody to be so considerate and articulate at the same time on what is about to tear Nigeria down. I think you should watch. is a known face.
I think we need to be careful. This is a democracy who have elected a democratically government. And here we are debating issues that are taking us away from what currently affects us. And I like the fact that my brother here talked about safety and security. Is it Twitter that is causing the insecurity across the country? You know, children have been kidnapped. But that being said, as a democracy, the Minister for Information came out with a policy that looks like a decree that is meant under a military regime. Today, our government is trying to gag social media because of the criticism the citizens have in their voice that they want to enjoy the dividends of democracy and good governance. So you're shutting down Twitter. Now you've shut down Twitter. Are you ensuring that the over 50% unemployment rate have reduced? I think we should focus more on the issues that affect everyday Nigeria. Today, businesses are losing income because of the fact that government have gagged Twitter. If you look at all of this, what is the root cause? So Mr. President's tweet was brought down by Twitter. Mind you, Twitter is a community of citizens who saw Mr. President's statement as an incitement and then reported it to a machine. If you understand technology, there's an algorithm that checkmates what people are reporting and then brought down this tweet. Mind you, if the government have an issue with Twitter, as a democratically elected government, there's always room for dialogue. And for me, when the Minister of Information, brought out that policy, you cannot single-handedly put a ban on telcos to restrict citizens from sharing information and engaging. Did our executive had a dialogue with our legislators before this?
It was actually a breath of a fresh air. He's a brilliant guy. Hamzat Lawal. I've read, I've actually listened to a few of his, views on things. That's why I said we should not always use that blanket statement of they are all the same. They are not all the same, okay? But with time, more vocal people will come out from that place. Same way, all those thieving, criminal Southern leaders, especially those ones who always love to parade themselves as South. Those ones who will tell you who will be Biafra, who will not be Biafra. Those of them who are also in the Yoruba land, the Jegudujera, the Oli, Jegudujera, Agbalagbas, in Yoruba land that are telling us that we will be diminished if we try to go for the dual republic. They will all be disappointed. All we need is the number. Once we have all the number we need, more people who are actually so much ready to make this happen, which we are getting every day. Every day, we are converting people to know that when they tell you one Nigeria, it is a fraud to buy your own life. So that when they are done with you, they will then transfer it to your children. They will buy the future of your children as well. And that's it. And once you sold it, that's it, gone. The only way to get it back is to team up with those who choose not to sell theirs. And once you have the number, we can get rid of them. You see, that Wiri that gave order, the police, the new police IG, that gave the order that police should start killing people. And they are killing people in Imo State as well, as you are watching this video. Okay? As gory as some of those images are, right? The person who brought that about, they said they wanted to do, honorary something for him in Lagos today. Oh boy, was it today or yesterday? Yeah, it was today, I think. You know what happened? The guy came to Lagos yesterday. People booed him, right? Then he arrived at the venue where they want to honor him. Oh boy, now so this happened though. For some of you who have seen it, your police IG, he had to run away. But some people said he didn't come to Lagos just to be honored. He came to Lagos for two things. Number one, they are so scared that something may happen when Boko Haram arrive in Lagos today. Or better still, maybe they will have the opportunity of meeting the Yoruba self-determination champions and see possibility of having a deal with them. The second one, which is the latter, I don't really believe that. But again, I think they are paranoid, allowing Boko Haram to come to Lagos, which indeed, we are not violent people. We are not bombers. We don't kill people because we don't agree with them. We just tell them to go to hell, never to show up their faces. And we did show that anyway, before the arrival of Boko Haram. But before arrival of Boko Haram, we showed you, police IG, the nature is against all of you bloodsuckers.
I'm not the rainmaker. I don't even know. If I don't show myself, then right in you.
The nature is against them. And to some of us who actually know that when nature is angry, it can react anyway. You don't believe it. I know some of you don't believe that, but well, nature is against them. I believe it. Okay. And there's also one more thing I want to share with you before I take maybe 1 or 2 calls. Okay. We're not going to take many calls tonight. Okay. If you make it through, it will be a pleasure. My pleasure talking to you. Okay. But however, for the Eastern Nigeria, one great thing that the people's reaction to the brutality and police assault, the killings and the massacring of people in Eastern Nigeria, what they have achieved is that they have managed to cut down the number of roadblocks in Eastern Nigeria, at least from what I heard, by 70%. Somebody recorded their one and he shared it with us. Then I've got something from Father Mbaka. And this too is where I'm going to come down and then I'll start taking my calls, okay? Yes, let's see what it looks like in some part of the Eastern Nigeria now when it comes to the road and traveling, especially now that the unknown gunmen have chased the known gunmen, the police, the military, killing, massacring innocent people on the road. Since they've managed to get them to change their mind. Somebody recorded it, and I think I should share with you. A minute.
Hello, my viewers. A very good afternoon. This is Idiot Television. This is Tuesday, the 8th of June 2021. We are traveling on a very high speed from Onitsha through Owerri to Port Harcourt. This is the highway known as Federal Highway Road, Onitsha Owerri Road. It used to be congested with police checkpoints. But today, it is free to ride on a very top speed. I was actually doing about 80 to 100, speed on this road right now, as you have seen. I don't know what's going on, but police checkpoints are no longer on this road as it used to be. It used to be almost every point you see a police checkpoint. But as you can see, the circumstances surrounding what is going on right now in the southeast has made it almost impossible to have police checkpoints on these roads. Now you could speed, you could travel and be sure of arriving at the exact time you wanted to do. It is for you to determine the speed you're gonna do on the road. This is the situation right now in Southeast Nigeria, precisely Anambra State, where we are riding now. This is a highway crisscrossing the state of Anambra.
a glimpse, I called it, okay? Because that's like about 4 or 5 minutes long. You can stay back there and just be like, because you know what I'm talking about? Yes, for those who have been traveling that road, they understand. You may not understand. Some people are watching that video and they're like, me too, you know what I'm talking about? Yes. And somebody said they want to crucify him, for blessing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is already blessed, and he will bless him more, even if they have to kill him. Nobody will kill you. Your sins are forgiven. Go and sin no more. Mbaka.
So we cannot say the truth anymore. Because I'm still waiting for Bishop Kuka to go for 30 days punishment, for Bishop Honor to go for 30 days punishment, for whoever has blessed any IPOP person to go into 30-day punishment. Now they're trying to insinuate Mbaka is sponsoring a terrorist group. Which Mbaka? Even after that I blessed Nnamdi Kanu, till today, I've not spoken with him. Look at my hand on the altar again. I don't know him, but he's a man to be blessed. Praise the Lord. I cannot curse somebody God has blessed, or bless somebody God has cursed. Praise the living God. I don't understand them. Best now with the people. Say, okay, Daddy, bless us, I bless them. I thought they have gone back with his group, they left. After he called me and said some people are moving with their vehicle down to Bishop's house.
Mbaka. Well, we'll come back to Mbaka. So I have a caller on the phone. Hello, ma.
Hello, Mr. Mayegun General.
Yes.
Thank you for the good work you've been doing. This is Olatunji from Canada. Hey, Joshua, I want more first Yoruba. I don't want really me first Yoruba. Because mo ṣe sọ pé sọ báyìí sí mi pé ṣé ti rí àwọn people yìí, mo fẹ́ kí àrà tó ń sàn yẹn kó continue. Ẹ ń gbọ́ mi báyìí because ọlẹ́ ti kọjá ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí ọ̀rọ̀ wèrè yìí sọ Boko Haram. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tó sọ ó ní wọ́n lè protect àwọn traditionally. That means pé everybody tó rí bá aṣọ ẹ̀ délé Ọlọ́run bẹ̀ ṣe. Tó yóò bá dẹ̀ ṣọ ẹ̀ délé wàhálà ló kó rẹ̀ sí. So kí ni mo fẹ́ sọ ni pé èmi ń gbàdúrà ọmọ Ọlọ́run ni mi ò ṣùgbọ́n níbi tó dé yìí àrà tó dá wọ́n bá ń wà fún wọn. Gbogbo ibikíbi tó bá ti àtàwọn àtẹ̀wọ̀n wọn nígbà tó bá kú dànù ṣé wọ́n wá tán? Àbí ṣé nǹkan tó ṣe ní gọ̀gán yẹn mò ń ní nightmares ní sà ojoojúmọ́ ọkàn mi ò balẹ̀. Canada ni mo wà àwọn aráalé wọn ò jẹ́ kí n gbọ́ràn irú wàhálà wo lélẹ̀ báyìí kí la fẹ́ ṣe báyìí ṣé a máa wòrán ni a máa sọ pé àwọn èèyàn yìí a ní gbogbo ẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti ṣe sílẹ̀ pé tó bá ti gbé owó kọ́wọ́ ọ̀tá Yorùbá báyìí àní kí àrà kó máa san níbikíbi tó bá ti wá kí òjò yẹn rọ̀ òjò bínú Ọlọ́run kó rọ̀ kó tún àrà ìpa wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín. Because nǹkan tá lè fi jà lélẹ́yìn sí i ṣé bó ṣà ní ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ wa ṣé bí ó ní ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ wa kí ló wá dé nílé wa kó máa gíyàn lórí kó máa gọ́wọ́ lọ eléyìí ti pọ̀ jù o. Ìjọba mi sọ o.
Wọ́n kú gbọ́ gbogbo ayé ló ń gbọ́ nǹkan tẹ́ sọ mà. Ẹ ṣé gọ́mà. Thank you so much.
Ó dàbọ̀ sà.
You know, that's our sister from our auntie, a lady from.
Ìjọba mi sọ o.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. My good general.
Yes, sir.
Hey. In fact, I need to go and do some Thanksgiving in church for getting through to you.
Oh, don't make me feel bad. I'm feeling good that you called in, right? So, you know, it's a pleasure talking to you. Your name, by the way, your name?
My name is Dotson. I'm calling from US.
Dotson from US, you said?
Florida precisely.
Fantastic. So, bro, you have the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, let me just say, number one, you're doing a very good, fantastic job. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And number two, I'm a Yoruba man. I'm from the I'm from Ondo, the western side of Nigeria. Anytime I listen to your program, I'm always boiling. Always boiling. I think I pray as if I always pray that I have this kind of supernatural power, so I can go into that country and destroy those people completely. It's sad. Do you know that these people? We've been talking about Lagos. Do you know they went to Lagos 2 days ago? Ikorodu. They attacked Ogijo police station 2 days ago.
That's right.
And they killed 3 people. They were silent about it. They kept quiet about it. They're not saying it right now. And the stupid people in Lagos, they're still believing that nothing is happening. It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. The stupid people in Lagos, they are still there and are still believing that, okay, Tinubu will save them. I don't know why some people are so stupid. Some idiots, some elite, some bunch of animals in that Lagos. It's a pity. It's a pity. I don't know what is wrong with those people. I don't know, just a simple instruction. Let us get together and do the right thing. I don't know what is happening anymore. These people are just useless, and they call themselves. I don't know what APC has to offer anymore. I don't know.
They've got nothing to offer, bro. They've got nothing else to offer. They are done
for.
They are run out of
following these animals. Some idiots are still following these animals. I don't know what they have to offer. They are killing people every day. Every day. If you like, yesterday too, they attacked people on Tottenham Bridge every day. Hoodlums everywhere. Hoodlums everywhere. I ran out of that country 2 years ago. I had a company. I had to sell everything up because I was frustrated. They messed up young people. They messed up their businesses. I lost over 50 million. I left that country in annoyance. I had to move my family out of the country because of this mess. You cannot bribe. You cannot do anything, and you will frustrate your efforts. Tinubu messed up Lagos, and they are still supporting this man. It's a pity. It's a pity. And if you tell them, warning them that they are coming. They're already there now. They are still believing that.
They're already there. It's no longer they are coming anymore. It's just about when is the next attack.
They are there, not when. They are there.
You know what I mean? It's like when is the next attack is what we are waiting for now. Say, when is the next attack?
Attack Ikorodu on Monday. They attack Ikorodu on Tuesday. Yes, Ogijo on Monday and on Tuesday. This was confirmed, and the media refused to report it.
Of course, they won't. Thank you so much. Let me take another call.
I've been hearing the rumor right now that Lagos is claiming that they are not part of Nigeria, part of Odua. That they want to say they don't want. Come on, worry.
We'll see. I know.
Come on, worry.
Thanks, Baba.
It's
a matter of time. I know. Thank you, Baba. Let me take another call. It's a pleasure talking to you. Okay, you have a good evening. Okay,
you're welcome, sir.
Nice one, Baba.
Yeah, bye.
So I have another caller. I'm taking it. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Mayego. This is Fela here.
Fela again. Let me relax.
Fela again, almost over. Well done. No, I don't want to take much of the time so that other people can come in.
Now. So make it
I want to make it snappy. The person, unfortunately, I was watching this interview. The president. It's so unfortunate. Can you imagine in a country where we have intellectuals and we have somebody like that, somebody that's sincerely, I don't even understand. I don't know how to categorize it. As a president, it's so shameful. I'm telling you, it's so shameful. I feel ashamed to call myself a Nigerian.
I don't know how you felt when you're watching the video, Fela. It's so depressing. Like, it is so
I felt ashamed to say I am a Nigerian. I'm telling you, Mayegu, let's leave that aside. I want to talk about this man that has this 4 corner on his head, Olusegun Obasanjo. Forget this man. We shouldn't even be focusing on him. This is Obasanjo that cannot win an election in his territory.
Right.
Forget about Obasanjo. What has he got to do? It's only the press. It's only the press that are carrying him all about. What do you expect Obasanjo to do? Of course, he's got oil, whatever he's got.
Like others.
He's got landed properties which he did not work for. Everything he owns were free. So what do you expect him to do? Do you know that if we achieve this Yoruba nation, obviously all he has will have to, disappear.
They will disappear. I mean,
everything he has will disappear.
Now. He can't go to Biafra now and say there's this massive land that some people don't even know.
Obviously, he cannot.
He can't go and
all the oil blocks will be taken away from him.
Of course.
So what do you expect him to say? He will want to die. He's been part of it all. He's one of the people that has brought us to where we are today.
That's right.
I'm from Abeokuta, and I feel ashamed to call him, an Egba man. I feel ashamed. I'm from Abeokuta. I'm an Egba man. But I feel ashamed to say he's from my hometown. Ọmọ àlè ní Ọbásanjọ́ ó lé ní ajẹgúdújẹrá ní ajẹnídìí màdàrú òun ní Ọbásanjọ́, and it's high time people started knowing and talking about it and forget about him. We don't need to give those people any more. I said it the last time. You see, all these so-called leaders. I don't know why we refer to them as leaders. They're not leaders. The people that cannot lead in their bedroom, they cannot lead. They cannot even lead their family. I'm telling you, and they now call themselves national leaders. They're not my leaders. They're not leaders in Nigeria. They don't have an idea how to rule their family. Talk less of a nation. I'm telling you, if we continue to talk like this, we will not stop.
We won't.
Let's just focus on what we want to do and what we want to achieve, and God will help us. Thank you, Mayegu.
You have a good evening, Baba. Thank you so much, fella.
You too.
So I'm going to take another call. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Willie. My dear brother.
Yes, sir.
Kola Wole ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ láti Toronto, Canada.
Sake, you have the floor.
Yomi.
Sir. So you are now live, sir. So,
Good. Buhari ti challenge gbogbo òrìṣà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lénìí. Ó dẹ̀ sọ jáde lẹ́nu. Ó ní kí àwọn alágbára wọn lọ gbé agbára wọn dìde. Ìbọn ní lọ́wọ́. Ó wá kù sọ́wọ́ àwa Yorùbá àtàwọn bàbá wa.
I'm following you, sir.
My dear brother,
sir,
it's not going to be funny this time. I've been trying to reach you for the past few months. I couldn't.
I'm so sorry. Now you did.
But I know you see some of my message I sent to you. Let me leave floor for other people to talk. I'm just boiling now. I cannot boil.
You can still leave me another message again this time around. I'm going to probably see it after the program, okay? And I will respond, sir.
All right, my brother. I will do that.
Thank you, sir. So you have a good evening,
I'll do that.
Okay?
I need to.
Yes.
God bless.
So I have another caller. Hello.
My brother, I will do that.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello. Ekale.
Ekale. So you are now live, mate. You are live,
Sherry.
Your name?
UK Mungbe. I have an old mother to 82 years of age. Ẹ̀rù ń bà mí láti lọ Nàìjíríà kí n lọ wò wọ́n pé how is she doing? Sherry, ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa sọ fáwọn youth yẹn. It's not enough to fight them with gun alone. Lọ́rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. Adolf Hitler ó le ju Buhari àti gbogbo Fúlàní lọ. But when he saw the Manhattan Project, he did justice to himself. It's getting to that level now whereby those youth they have to do something else. The gun alone is not enough anymore. Àwọn ètò jẹ́ scientists tó jẹ́ kíní kan wọ́n wake up kọ́ wo nǹkan táwọn lè ṣe. Fighting them with gun alone is no longer enough.
It's no longer enough.
People are like Buhari law. Buhari is nothing àti gbogbo Fúlàní. So jọ̀ọ́ àwọn ètò anything tó bá lè ṣe they should wake up.
Thank you so much.
Tó jẹ́ pé Fúlàní fúnra ara wọn náà máa kúrò Nàìjíríà. Nǹkan tí kẹjẹ ká máa ronú ẹ̀ nìyẹn. Bóyá mi ò ṣe mọ̀ yeah. Because I have a mother there. Ẹ̀rù ń bà mí láti lọ́lé kí n lọ wò wọ́n. My 82 years old mother. Mi ì lè lọ́lé. So ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa appeal. Ẹ bá wa appeal fáwọn youth ẹ ṣe gan ni.
No, àwọn èèyàn ń gbọ́ yín now. Everybody ló ń gbọ́ yín. Bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ń gbọ́ yín lẹ́bọ̀ ní gbọ́ yín now. We are all listening together. So we are all in it together, ma. Thank you so much for calling in.
Ẹ ṣe gan ni.
Sọ orúkọ yín fún mi ṣá.
Oh, Chris lórúkọ mi. Mo máa ń pè ìbọn mi ìfẹ́ fi gbogbo ẹnu sọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ torí mo ń wà conscious. But tó dàbẹ́ ní pé I have to speak up now at this stage.
That's
because
amazing.
I'm too scared.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You have a good evening, okay? Thank you, ma. Yes, ma.
Okay. Bye.
So I have another caller, okay? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Mayogo, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
My name is I'm fine. My name is Tunji. I'm calling from Plumstead.
Tunji, you're alive.
Okay. Thanks for the great job you're doing. You're really doing well.
Thank you.
More grease to your elbow.
Thanks,
yeah. I just want to make you just one contribution regarding the video you showed earlier with the guy that was shot on the arm. I don't know if you've seen the two videos. No, there's two videos regarding the two guys. Regarding the same guy, sorry. Have you seen the videos?
The guy. One. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, the guy is a crackpot. Why did I say that? There's two videos where he said the bullet was removed. The injury was on the left, and the main injury on the video was on the right. And if you see the second video, I have both videos. Right. If you look at it very well, you will see there was no scar on the left-hand side, but there was injury on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And the video has went viral. And I can tell you what's on here. On the left-hand side, there was no scar. Okay. On the left hand, it was smooth. And on the right-hand side, it was bandaged and blood was coming out. And I said, what is going on? Then later I found out that in Nigeria, they've asked people to arrest the guy.
Okay.
So what is the guy is just misleading people.
So is that where you're going with that?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah, because it's misleading.
And
if there's an operation going there, if there's an operation going on somewhere else, you can divert people to another thing.
I don't get that, by the way. But you see, apart from that guy in that video, right? There's also a report of the people kidnapped at that axis today. How about
that axis, yes.
How about that?
I'm not sure because the guy has killed.
And the story of that guy, Tunji, let me say something again. The story of that guy actually corresponds exactly with the kidnapped people that their family members have reported to the media already. That 4 people have been kidnapped, including one blind man. Have you heard about mirror image before, TJ?
Yes.
Whereby I can record a video now, and my camera will capture it exactly, and at the same time, that same video can be transferred, and what is called a mirror image can make the same person on the same video, right? And the bandage you're talking about on a different arm, okay? But anyway, you have the 2 videos, okay? But again, I have a bigger story after that video I shared with you, because his story matched those kidnapped today, and that makes his story genuine. You get what I mean now?
Yeah, you're right. The other video,
I'm not going to debunk it.
Yeah, but the other video was a single video where it was sitting against the wall, so there was no.
I get that. Well, yeah, thanks you very much anyway for bringing that up. Yeah, thanks so much. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we all want to know what is going on. We don't want to mislead people. But again, like I said, if you compare his story and the story of those kidnapped today at that same spot, and he actually matched. And I believe him.
Yes. Okay.
Baba, thank you so much, DJ. Eh? You have a good evening, okay? Nice one, Baba. So, sorry, I have another caller. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to bring them on.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning, my general.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Baba, how are you?
Thank you. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Yes, my brother. Thank you very much.
Yes, you are live.
I believe everybody that's claiming to be one Nigerian now should be ashamed of it or herself, because I mean, what I saw today, the man they call their president, is very shameful. I mean, how can you say that man is your president? You know, turning everything upside down, saying nonsense. I want to tell people this. It's very shameful that we, the indigenous people in that place called Nigeria, allowed migrants from Niger, Chad, Mauritania, and everywhere, all of those places, and coming to tell us who we are, coming to tell us how we will live our life. It's very shameful. I don't understand. How can I be following a Fulani man from behind, calling him my leader? Leader from where? How? These people were chased away from Arab country, and they migrated to Africa. From Africa, they started going from one country to another, started settling with that. They don't have any trace of anything. And I'll be following them behind, saying that these are my leader. This is very shameful. I watched a video today. Somebody from the Bayelsa was saying that they discovered oil here in 1945. And if you see the area, if you see where this guy is making dividend, 1945 is 46 years today. Yet there's no development, and you are still proud calling yourself Nigerian. What is wrong with people? You have oil over 46 years ago, yet you are still drinking from mud. You are still living in a mud house, and you are proud calling yourself Nigeria. When people rise up to tell that this isn't working, you will start castigating them. I don't know what is wrong with people in Nigeria. I'm telling you, I don't know if there's something they did to them that they don't see.
They asked Buhari, why don't you call them and talk to them? Why should we call them? We'll just kill them.
So why should we call them?
Why should we
call them? We have the gun to kill them. And he was telling them that he has spoken to some people. They told him that they can't give them answers. Who and who did you talk to? When they talk about this thing, it gets me annoyed, because you cannot divide people who are the same people. I have my Igbo speaking brothers in Edo State. I have my Igbo speaking brothers in Delta. I have my Igbo speaking brothers in Benue. I have my Igbo speaking speaking brothers in Akwa Ibom, in Calabar, in Bayelsa, in Rivers, because they call River. And you're telling me that you have them out. What kind of nonsense? These people from hellfire are telling us who we are. What is wrong with we? What is wrong with us? I mean to say, what is wrong with us black people? What is wrong with us? Over about 60 years, there's no hospital, there's no road, there's no water, there's no school, there's no line, there's no nothing, and you are still proud of Nigeria. What is wrong with us? We will fight these people to the last drop of our blood.
Above it all, we cannot protect, we cannot defend ourselves against those who are coming from Mauritania. Mauritania can never be up to one.
Mauritania, you said they are from Mauritania, they are not Nigerians. Yet, when we rise up to defend our people, when we rise up to defend our land, you say we shouldn't kill them. You say we shouldn't attack them. You say we should live in peace with them. But they are from Mauritania, they are from Chad, they are from Niger, they are from Senegambia. Yet we cannot defend ourselves against those invaders. What is wrong with sense of black people? What is wrong with us? And when you talk, all these people we call leaders, they'll be talking trash. You'll be thinking, are these people normal? In 2017, they said they are from foreigners. They're foreigners. In 2018, they said they are foreigners. In 2019, they said they are foreigners. In 2020, they said they are foreigners. El Rufai said he paid them to stop killing our people. What is wrong with us? Are we not reasoning at all? Are we out of our mind? I'm boiling. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll just take another one. Okay, you have a good evening, Elder Nipag. Okay, have a good one. So I have another caller. Hello. Hello there. Oh, what happened? Okay. I'm just gonna go to the US or Canada and send a number. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Your name?
Oh, wow. I can't believe I actually got you. It's Sandra.
You did. You just got me. Yeah. So your name.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
With Sandra.
Sandra, is that? Did you say Sandra?
Yes, I did.
Lovely. So Sandra, you are live, and this is Mayegun, by the way.
Yeah, nice to meet you, and well, nice to talk to you. I think, just like everybody says, I think you do an amazing job.
Thank you.
I also wanted to respond to the previous guy. So he was talking about how we're a country and there's nothing that has happened. We don't have good roads. There's no electricity. No schools. And of course, we all have that same sentiment, right? But sometimes I wonder how, I don't know if I should say this, and I respect our elderly people in Nigeria, but I feel that they never pushed back against the government earlier. If they had, we would not be having this problem. So what our parents did in respect to them was that they went to church to pray for good roads. They went to church to pray for good schools, but they never pushed back against the government. And so that's why we keep having this problem. And also it's happening now as well because the government doesn't let you speak up. I think that it's mostly we Nigerians that are in the diaspora that are the loudest. Well, because if you speak up in Nigeria, you don't know what's going to happen to you. It's either, you get sanctioned, like Channel Television has been going sanctioned. And so it's a very big problem that I'm not sure how we can solve it. First, talking about it is great. And that's
sure how we can solve it, Sandra, okay? We are all sure of how we're going to solve it, okay? But we're just trying to gain the steam, the number to push it on, okay? We need the number. How to save ourselves from this is to join together, educate ourselves, and help break Nigeria up peacefully. Nigeria has been broken up already, right? They should just make it official. That's it.
Well, that's true. But also, can we talk about our leaders? Because if we break up, and I'm not against it, I'm still new to this, still listening to it.
That's all right.
But let's talk about our leaders. So if you break up Nigeria, right, the leaders in Igbo land, like you said, like the Imo State governor, who supports Buhari and who doesn't support the breakup, or even in Yoruba land, the governors who are with Buhari, if we break up, who's going to be the leader, and are we sure that this is going to work? So if we're talking about
and all of that, I know they call that FAQ, okay, frequently asked questions, right? Let me help you with that. Breaking up of Nigeria is a process, right? And a process that can take a period of 10, 15, 20 years. When you want to break up a country, you start from writing a new constitution that first give autonomy to every region, region of the country, right? Every component that makes up the country. So everybody will come together. They will agree on the terms that is acceptable to all. Then they will agree to have a country. Then they will have a autonomy whereby everybody will do their own things. The Biafrans will do their own things. From there, you will discover those who can actually fix Biafra. Because you put a system in place that can that can elect responsible people. Because people will be involved. That autonomy means that you don't need the Igbo man to go and pledge to somebody in Mina to become a godson to a terrorist so that he can be endorsed, empowered, given money to. Then he can go back to the East and do everything against the people of the East. As long as whatever he's doing is in the interest of his master, the one that gave him that power in the North. So there will be no North to go to anymore, okay? So if Igbos want to discuss their problem, they will fight it in Biafra land. They will not be able to go to Kano, go anywhere, go and import anybody to come and kill Igbos anymore. That is what is called breakup. Now, this practice can last for 5 years, 10 years. So at that point, people will begin to understand, the new leaders will emerge. People will begin to understand the type of country they want to have, right? But they are still part of Nigeria. Then there will be a time they will say, we're going to have a referendum. We don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore. We've had our autonomy for 10 years. We've been ruling ourselves. We've been doing everything without anybody telling us what to do. Now we want to be Biafra officially. Because they've signed it in that agreement that make up Nigeria. Nobody will shoot them. And our leaders, as you said, they will fizzle out, Sandra. They will fizzle out. but we need the number.
Okay,
we need educated people. Yeah.
I'm invested. I'm enjoying listening to you, and I'm really appreciative of the fight that we're starting. I believe that things would. I don't know if I should
stick around. Stick around whenever you have the time. Even if you miss Mayegun, right? Take your time and watch few minutes. If you are not but as usual, just stick around. You will get used to it. Then you understand that you don't appeal to the people who are actually part of the problem. You don't bring people who started the problem, who are part of the problem. You don't bring them to be part of the solution. You will fail again because you know what I mean?
Very true.
We need ourselves. Once we have enough of us, educated, enlightened enough, in large numbers, these guys will fizzle out. Sandra, you have a good afternoon, okay? It's a pleasure talking to you.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye.
So I decided to say that because Sandra is not the only person who has that question. People have that similar questions in their mind as they are watching Mayegun. They want to ask me. And I hope I've managed to touch some nerves to tell you a few things that you've always wanted to ask. I hope. Hello. Hello.
Yeah,
there.
hello, Mayegun.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I am very well. How are you?
This is Wale from London.
Wale, did you say Wale?
Mayegun.
Sir.
Adebowale.
Adebowale, sir. Okay. Yeah, you're live.
Nigeria as a country, we've been around now for a while. We've been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And for people to get around, it's going to take a hell of a time.
It is.
It's going to take a hell of a work.
Mm-hmm.
So people will get around, but it's going to take a while. And, we have been indoctrinated into believing in this Nigeria. We've been promised and promised and promised. And, the world is changing now. It's really, really changing. And I've been trying to get in touch with you now for the past,
You're not alone.
You
should know that.
So you know that it's getting bigger. The awareness is going, it's getting bigger and bigger.
I know.
And now, according to, I think, World Health Organization statistics, I think it's 2019, 2020, said in every 4 Nigerians, there is one crazy person.
That's right.
A crazy man on the street and the crazy man that wears Agbada all about. That gives you about 50 million crazy people. So you cannot expect anything better. Sometimes when some people talk, when they open their mouth, you'll be surprised that is this person really normal? Is this person okay? So that is what we as people that a little bit of sense. That is what we have to deal with. You have to, you have to talk to them. You have to, sometimes when you try to convince them, you will even be questioning yourself. Am I okay?
Am I not losing my mind like this? Am I not running mad myself? Am I not losing my
mind? Listening to Buhari today, listening to the interview today, you will see his mindset. That old man mindset is still in the 70s. They didn't grow up. They didn't grow up with whatever Nigeria is now.
They are still fighting that war in their head.
When Obasanjo talks, you will see that they are still locked in that 70s, 80s. When Tinubu talks, they only talk about the what you can make quick money. Quick that we will settle them, we will give them money. Yeah, you will see that their mindset is different from what is going on in the world now. And don't let me lie to you. The communication as it is in the 70s, 80s is different from now.
It is.
You can do something in Igbo land now, and then the next minute it's over, everywhere in the world.
All over the world.
You see what we Yorubas are dealing with now. What we Yorubas are dealing with. We have to put our house in order, and that's one is it's going to take time, but we are going to get there.
We have to keep it up, yeah. We have an advantage, sir. We have an advantage. The advantage is what you just mentioned there. We have the internet. That if anything happens in any part of Nigeria, we all can see it within a minute or two. Within 10 minutes, so many people will see it all over the world. If it's a really, really serious thing. 10 minutes, millions will see it all over the world.
And you see, Yoruba people, we are people that are reluctant to. We are comfortable whichever way. We are comfortable. We are a little bit okay. Get my manage. It's not really. We are not okay. But we pretend to be okay. We are not okay. And one thing that gives us that hope in the 70s and the 80s is there is still hope. There is still promise. But the promise is not coming. And all these children now, all these children of these days now, they don't have time for waiting. No. That's why we are having difficulty with all these elders.
Exactly.
The elders don't want to get away from there, and the children are trying to push them away. But they are not going. They don't want to go, and they will go when the time comes. They are going to go.
When we have
that education system, that educational system that they have destroyed, it is what is falling on them now, and it is going to consume them no matter what. If it doesn't consume them, it will consume their children. That is why I'm really, really surprised that none of them is really planning for their own children, for their own grandchildren. Are they going to leave this state of
I don't think they care.
Are they going to leave it for their own children?
I don't think they care. I don't think so. Like, they are so selfish and so greedy that people that see, with all the power, sir, for years, people who are so selfish that couldn't build any functional healthcare system for years.
Yeah.
Do you really think they care about anybody?
Because if you are building a team, you have to think about your children. You have to think about your grandchildren.
They don't care.
If Tinubu's children or Gbajabi Amila's children, are they going to be able to live in that state? Let's just take Lagos State for example now. Is Gbajabi Amila's children or his grandchildren? Maybe they want to relocate them to London, or maybe that's their plan. Because I don't know. I can't understand how their children going to live.
Thank you so much. I know. Let me take another call, sir. Let me take another one, sir.
It's good. Yeah, we are getting there.
We will get there, sir. We will. And we'll continue to talk because, like you said, more people are showing interest and they are learning one or two things every day, understanding why they should be involved. That's why we won't stop talking.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You have a good evening. All right, sir. Yes, sir.
Bye.
So I'm going to take my last call. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I break my own rule by just, just give me a sec, please.
Hello, Maigu.
Yes, sir. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Alenora Okoro, thank you so much, sister, for this your super sticker and chart. Thank you for your wonderful work or your wonderful input. Mayegun General. That's what MG means. So hashtag Biafra and hashtag Oduduwa now. Hashtag we move. Thank you, Alenora. I hope I pronounced that right. Noel J is on, and thank you so much to you as well, Noel J, for your super sticker and your super chat. You seems to be screaming with this you're typing, so I am going to quickly read that too. Nigeria is a business. It's not a country. Nigerians should never expect good roads, electricity, quality education, and good health. Healthcare system. If you want all of the above mentioned benefits, break up the business and create indigenous countries. I love that. I love that so much. That's so deep. I have a caller. Hello.
Hello, Maigun.
Hello,
you are
sir.
speaking with Pego from North here.
Sorry, your name again.
Pego from North here.
Fantastic.
What's it called? When I watched the interview he did with Arise members today, I started laughing. You know that in one of his speech, he said, nobody should sit down in Lagos and ask APC executive what to do. When they were asking him about who will succeed him in 2023. So I started laughing like, wow.
You see, you remember when I told people here, that you see, distraction of Fulani harassment and all these killings, they are still going to deal with him, Tifnumbu. Right? But it's going to be around December, okay? But it's just going to be a double-double, Baba. Fire on. Watch.
So when they asked about Hesma, he was talking about Mauritania and referring to Mali. Maigun, everybody should go and check. In Mauritania, till date, they are still practicing slavery. As at 2018 or 2008, BBC, reported on Mauritania about, slavery. You see, there are two ways of government there. It's either you are more or less a fair, they are fair-skinned Arab descent.
Skins, okay.
If you are a black, you are a second-class citizen there. Anybody can go and check. So it tells you the way they are treating us in Nigeria. So breakfast here, lunch,
breakfast, the brunch, Baba, even everybody where they won't serve the breakfast, sir. You don't know waiting go the menu. That's the problem. When we say now everybody will chop breakfast, everybody will chop breakfast. Well, hey, I'm going to no menu. Menu, you need to pay only $12 one lè ṣá ẹlòmíì mọ́mọ́ ẹlòmíì kàn máa jí ẹgbẹ́ náà dẹ̀ máa fi ẹlẹ̀ tó bá ti san millions. You know that stuff, eh? But gbogbo ala máa jẹ breakfast if we don't rise up now, Papa. Thank you so much.
He was even talking about what's it called? Cattle route. Cattle route.
Thanks a lot, Baba. That's a good one. I like that. Gbogbo ala máa jẹ breakfast. Let me take this. She's been. I hope she is. Hello.
Hello?
Oh, you robbed me. Who is that your DP, please? Who is in that your DP, sir?
The display picture, that's my wife, sir.
Oh, you just robbed me. I thought I was like a woman is calling and I cannot ignore a woman and I just speak to you. But you're gonna be my last caller, so make it count.
Thank you.
Your name?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. My name is Bisola Adeni, sir.
Bisola, sir. You are live, please.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been watching your video through my brother. He introduced me to the stuff. I just want to say before I continue, really good work that you're doing.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate where you're getting the information out. When I first heard your vlogs, I was like, because I'm more of like one Nigeria. But like the more I listen to your blogs, the more a lot of things dawn on me. And the more the situation of the country became clear that, okay, there has to be a rethink of certain things. Yeah. So one thing I want to say, I don't want to cause offense to anyone. I know this is a very different platform. I was just surprised on one of the previous callers that was talking about the fact that maybe the video of one of what he said was doctored, because I think that's one of the things that actually affects us as Africans. I won't even say Nigerians now, because there is a problem in the country. Okay, and you are more concerned about the fact that someone doctored the video to showcase that there's a problem in the country. So, I mean, even if it was doctored, which it obviously wasn't, because that's just a mirror effect, like you explained in the video. I don't think that was the main point of the explanation. So, and I think this is one of the things that we have to be careful about if we're talking about forward Africa, a better Nigeria, or the Dual Republic, because there would still be certain people that still have ulterior motives, no matter the way we want to go about it, no matter the plans we make, no matter the right, because that's just the way people are. You know, like in the past, I wasn't alive during the Civil War, but I did know that when Biafra actually was going, when there was the Civil War in Nigeria, the Yorubas and the Igbos actually had spoken to fight each other, but last minute they also went along with the Hausas and with Nigeria, and so this kind of things are exactly what obstructs growth and what obstructs change. And I don't know if there is
planting doubts.
Exactly, planting doubts.
We are not saying that is not real, but I'm just saying. Why don't you? What if is? I understand you, Baba. Go on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that I think we'd really have to be careful about it. And I think one way we can be careful about that, from my own point of view, is by us
educating ourselves and our mind, which is what we are doing now, like making people aware of the reality. Because at the end of the day, some people are still no matter the situation in Nigeria, there's some people that are profiting from it. I know we all know that. And even with all these things that we want to do, we want to form our own state, we want to create awareness and everything, some people would just not say anything and prefer to still suffer in silence. And while some people would say, you know what, I won't say anything because I have to gain from this. And I don't know if there are any plans that can be done to either make them well aware of the situation or to remove those kind of weeds, because this would cause issues. And this is I want this to be something serious, and I can see that a lot of people are serious about it. And I believe that we as Africans, we as Yorubas, we maybe Biafrans, like we as our people, I believe we can be better. And I believe we've seen what we're passing through. It's just painful when because I'm based in the UK, and it's just painful when most of the when I see Nigerians that are really doing well, like maybe business or maybe career wise, maybe in academics, they are really at the top of their profession, at top notch at the level. And yes, when you speak to them about going back to do something, they say, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. And you don't blame them because of the situation you've seen in the past. But it's painful when we can contribute to our culture, we can actually contribute to make ourselves better and actually seen in front of the world. But yet, some things just don't make it happen. And I think, that's why I think what you're doing is one way, and is actually shedding the light and bringing us closer to things.
But let me give you an answer, okay? You see, in this life, nobody can do anything to you without your will. When they do, it's called a crime, right? However, what I think we need is that we'll keep putting the information out there, endlessly, okay? And then give the people time. Are you with me? Nigeria is a place whereby if you begin to pay attention with time, Nigeria will make you agree that Nigeria will never work. Nigeria is just like that. It works that way, right? So, but Nigeria has now gotten to a stage whereby everyone who is still unsure what is going to be next when Nigeria break up, they are unsure. You know what we do for them? We say, give them time. You know what I mean? Give them time. Because with time, Nigeria will make them agree with everyone saying, to save Nigeria, break it up. To save Nigeria, break it up. But like I said, it is about time. You were once a one Nigerian person, but that still won't take that your Nigeria away from you yet. I'm still holding the passport. You possibly still holding it as well, right? However, with time, Baba, with time, when more people, especially those, many of us who are living abroad, right, who are doing so well, once we begin to understand that we can actually channel our energy in creating a world that those before us couldn't give to us. Once we begin to believe that and put ourselves together, our resources, intellectuals, everybody coming together, we will make this happen. It's just how to get them in. Until we get in, Baba, we won't stop. So let's give ourselves time. No rush. Okay? Even though it's
Thank you very much.
Well, nevertheless, no rush. We'll get there. All right?
Amen.
You very much.
Yeah, hopefully.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for responding. Yeah.
Tell the missus that anytime you change the ID, it will be difficult for you to get in again. Okay, so don't change the ID of the profile. Okay, the profile picture.
I would let her know. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mike.
You have a good evening. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Yeah, I have another lady. I just want to hear a lady's voice before I go to bed. After the program today. So, hello.
Oh.
Hello there.
Hello, that is also my wife.
Somebody just duped me again. I'm gonna stop after this. But you know what? Right? The ladies, they are smiling, I believe. Many of them are smiling now that okay, you robbed my ego. Well, sir, you have the floor. Your name?
My name is Lawrence. I'm calling from Texas.
Lawrence from Texas, Baba. You have the floor. So you are my last caller, please.
I was very persistent. I know you mentioned the previous person was going to be your last caller, but I said I was going to keep trying.
And there you are.
I want to start by quickly saying thank you so much. You have no idea. You have no idea the impact you are making. I can assure you, just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep your level high, and trust me, you're doing something beyond what you can imagine. The impact is huge and enormous. God bless you. Quickly, I have so many things to say, but I am currently I don't even have much to say anymore because I am currently too depressed after watching, trying to watch the interview of Mr. President. You can obviously see that he is still stuck in pre-independence era. He is still stuck in so obsolete. The era he's stuck in is what I refer to as the Paleolithic era, the Neolithic era, where man was still busy talking about subsistence living. He is not in touch at all with the realities on ground. And I think I may not give him all the blame. Obviously, the wall of his team, they seem to have cut him off from the reality on ground, which is very unfortunate. Because imagine all the things he managed to respond to. They were just off the point.
Off point, exactly.
Just off point. You start wondering, how do you correlate the responses with the answers he was giving? Okay, imagine something as, let me just give this response and I'll close it. Him talking about the IPOB. He mentioned they are just like a dot in a circle. Can you imagine? Okay, let's even give credit to the fact that they are not even supposed to mention about seceding from the Republic. Who told Boko Haram that people, countries who are landlocked do not prosper? For instance, Rwanda is a typical example. So let me not start mentioning too many.
Don't go far. Exactly. Don't go too far.
Let me not go far. Let me not go too far. Rwanda is just close by. Rwanda has almost become a reference point for economic development across the world, not even across Africa anymore, across the world. And that's somebody who was a former dictator. So it's not like, maybe the guy there now is a young guy. The guy there now is somebody who just brand new. No, that guy is also somebody who...
He was a former rebel leader now.
Yes, he has reformed himself. There is a former rebel leader. He has reformed himself. He's someone who is even moving even ahead of the youngsters in that country. And that's why you see Rwanda almost, taking global stage in the outlook of things. But look at what we have here. It's so unfortunate the apology we have in the leadership of that country, more so at this critical time of our nation. But it's unfortunate. But all I want to say in summary, and this is my final comment, the disintegration of the country. I don't know why people are even afraid of it anyway. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Because spiritually or otherwise, the country has already broken up. It is just the physical manifestation that will take place, that we are just bidding time to take.
And we are asking them to let us do it peacefully. That we are saying let us go our separate way. It shouldn't make us enemies. Countries they are still neighbors, and we can still run things. Why not?
Oh yes. It shouldn't be criminalized to even ask for breaking up.
Thank you
so that is all I can say for now. Thank you so much. Keep doing your good job.
Thank you, sir.
I watch you every day.
That's why I come here every day. You know why? Because I know those who want to see me every day. So I'm glad that you managed to call in today, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You have a good evening, okay? Yes, and send it well to Madame. Tell her that.
Oh yes, I will.
Yeah,
I will.
She made it happen.
In fact, once I get home now and I'm with my earpiece, she tells me, "Hey, you're on my ego again."
I know.
All right.
Thank you so much. You have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good one. Sorry about that. I know maybe ladies are really calling now because suddenly every caller is having the image of beautiful ladies and beautiful women, and you guys are going to abuse it. I'm going to be like, don't do it to me again, please. So thank you so much, Diagbaman. It's been a long time. I'm glad I didn't miss your super chat, but to Diego Ari, I'll read your super chat first as well. Okay, thank you. Mayegun, great work, brother. We can do referendum through a UN-supervised voting system online. Current Nigerians can bring their passport, ID card, voters card, etc. Type this info in and vote. That's quite impressive. I have no idea much on that, but thanks for sharing that. And I'm glad it's actually on the screen. So therefore, I'm going to see it again. So also, Agbaman, thank you very much. Let me see if I can still see your super chat. To every one of you who actually took your time with me tonight, as usual, I'm going to see you again tomorrow, okay? Remember, give me that thumb up under the video before you log out. That will show that you enjoyed this broadcast of this program with me tonight, okay? And to my friends who are just joining, all right? Don't worry. You haven't really missed much, okay? Now, you don't wait for me to end, all right? Just tap you see that draw line, just drag it back on the YouTube, okay? And you can start watching again, all right? So thank you very much. Agbaman, all sensible people need to really be serious about removing foolish leaders. Boko Haram is an abomination. I can't agree less. To every one of you there as well. I got one super sticker from my regular guy, Bans Balash. Trust me, I have no idea what currency is that anyway, but thank you, right? Is it money or money? But thank you for reaching out, for your generosity as well. And to every one of you who phoned in, my friends who have been chatting, who have been dropping the chat endlessly, contributing and all of that. And to all of you, lovers of Mayegun, right? Thank you very much. I'm going to see you again. You should all have a great evening and stay safe. Remember, if you want to save Nigeria, break Nigeria up. Boko Haram will have a conversation. It will never have a talk with those who are demanding for a better life and a better country, right? But guess what? It will run away. Not just him, eventually, and those that are currently holding the guns for him. How far it's going to last, we don't know. How long it's going to hold everyone, we have an idea. It won't be for long, but the battle line is already drawn. I'll see you again tomorrow. Again, good night.
Súnrakì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Máyégún ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́